Welcome back. This is Red Zone in the Lab. I am Deuce. And today in the lab, my man Mello Wick is in the building representing the New York Football Giants. We're going to preview this upcoming game, which was flex. So that means the NFL is watching. Somebody is watching to flex us to Sunday night when the whole world is going to be watching. Mello, what's good, man?
Hey, what's up, dudes? I want to thank everybody that's out there in the Red Zone Lab, all the families to you and yours. Thank you for tuning in, Deuce. Thank you for having me today. I'm excited to talk about some New York Giants and some Washington Commanders. Football. This is a big opportunity for us both, being 7-5-1. The last time that we both played, we had a tie, and I know both of us, as an organization, are looking to chomp at the bits. So it's going to be exciting. Primetime game, Sunday night. It's all on us. So what we going to do?
Yeah, man, it's I can't wait, man. You gonna be there, I'm gonna be there. We gonna link up when we get there, man. I can't wait. It's gonna be a heck of an atmosphere, man. But before we get into the game, man, let's get a little bit into Mello, man. Mello, from the area, DMV. He's a Giants fan, so let's just most of your family is Commanders fans. So just give us the history of your fandom with the New York Football Giants.
Yeah, dude, you mentioned a great point. I am born and raised, PG County, all day. I'm from Suitland. So, those that know what's up. But yeah, a lot of my family are Commanders fans. I became a
Mm-hmm.
Giants fan in 1998. And ironically enough, right, Deuce, I grew up, and this is a secret because it's between you and me, brother. We brothers. I actually grew up as a Redskin fan.
All right.
My family, they bought me a Daryl Green jerseys, man. They, and I even had the little helmets with the football. And Pops was trying to indoctrinate me, man, back then, man. He was trying to recruit me, man. But I just wound up going to the Giants just because it was just a team that I loved, honestly. And ever since then, I've been there with them ever since, excuse me. And you're a true fan when you go through the rough seasons, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
Sometimes you'll have the bandwagon, as they call it, because the team is good. But no, man, I've been there for 3 and 13,
That's right.
and recently how we kind of doing it. So, I'm excited, for us as an organization, what we're doing with our new GM and our new coaching regime as well. So, I've been Big Blue ever since, Deuce.
Yeah, man, let's get into that. The new coaching regime. Obviously, Joe Judge came in there, and Gettleman, and they just set y'all back. I mean, to be honest, they just set y'all back. But now y'all have Dable. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know why I can't get it right, but I think it's Dable. He's in there, and you've seen the success he's had with Josh Allen and company, man. Tell us a little bit about the expectations of or how your expectations was when y'all first got these new guys in the building.
Yeah, absolutely. Joe Shane, coming from Buffalo, he was actually highly regarded. I try to do research about what other teams say about a coach or a GM
Mm-hmm.
because it's all about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And, Joe Shane, they say he was very smart. He was very bright. He was actually, very approachable and flexible. And that's some of the things that you want in a general manager. You managing personalities, you actually have to have some sort of rapport connection, with the players and the people in the building. And that was something that, Dave Gettleman failed us at. He was not
Mm-hmm.
exact, even coming in, right? Even Steve Smith came out and said how contractually, he's not a good person to deal with, with the players. D'Angelo Williams actually came out and said something about Dave Gettleman. So, the red flags were there. So far, it's been nothing but positive for Joe Shane. Brian Dable coming over is really put a jolt in our organization. Speaking with some Bills fans, they hated that we got him. They
Yeah,
really wish
most definitely.
that he could have stayed. And that's a testament of who he is
That's
and
a
his
good thing. Most
character.
definitely. Yeah.
So he's very approachable. What you see is what you get with him. I do like the fact that he's both an offensive and a defensive coach. He has coached on both sides of the ball, and he's worked closely, obviously with Bill Belichick and Nick Saban. So, there is some experience there, and the players like him. So I'm excited to see how we're going to continue to go the rest of the season.
All right. So we go through free agency, we go through the draft, we got training camp. Um, you have the all season, training camp, of course, preseason. What were your expectations coming into this season?
Well, to be honest with you, dudes, it wasn't high.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The floor was just as high, the ceiling was just as high as the floor,
Mm-hmm.
and to be honest, I was only expecting maybe about 5 wins, just because we wanted to see progression. I know what we did this year, and it is overachieving, but we wanted to see progression and going in the right direction. Sometimes if you look at Detroit last year, even though they lost a lot of games, you could
It
tell
was
that they
always
were
by
turning the
possession.
corner.
Mm-hmm.
They wasn't quitting. It was just they still needed more pieces to build and turn their corner to be a below average team to an average team, and eventually becoming a great team. So we just want to kind of get some of that success as well.
Yeah, man, I like that. I like that comparison, especially with when you talk about the Lions. A lot of their losses came in one possession games at the end of the game. You know what I mean? So they had opportunities, but it's good to be able to build off of what was good and be able to show progress off of what was not. That's a good thing and a good way to kind of track progression year after year. All right, so now, right? What is it? 7-5-1, right? Um, 7-5-1. We're here now. You guys started off, I think, 7-2. So the season in review, from your 5-win expectations to now, where are you?
I'm really still neutral about it. I'm still in the middle. I don't feel bad about our losses. And let me put that in context, Deuce. And what I mean by that is this. We came from Joe Judge, who, when we played you
Yeah.
guys, did a back-to-back quarterback
Yeah.
sneak and,
Yeah.
really lost the team, not really, giving fight. And to me, that's much different this year with Brian Dable. With some of these back-to-back losses that we had, that's when you watch the character of the team. And that's
Mm-hmm.
how you also measure a coach as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at what Denver's doing over there with, their coach, he's kind of losing the locker room. Not kind of,
Oof.
he is, right?
Yeah.
So, that's important when that adversity hits, how your coach responds and how the players respond as well. So I am excited to see how we're going to finish out.
All right. So playoffs, right? Big game coming up this Sunday night. But let's talk about the playoffs. Let's talk about these next four games in your view, and what you're expecting from these next four games, and how far are we going to go with these four games?
Yeah, absolutely, dude. So after you guys, we do have Minnesota Vikings coming up. That's going to be a huge game. We know what Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook and that offense brings. After that, we play the Jeff Saturdays, the Fighting Jeff Saturdays, with the Indianapolis Colts. You saw what Philly kind of had to deal with them. They're not a team to be slept on. Even Dallas, to some form of excuse me, degree. I apologize. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward, and then we end the game with Philly, end the season with Philly. So if we can come out of there at least, 2 out of 2, that'd be great. I don't think we can afford to go 0-4 and still expect to have a playoff push or seeding. But there is some sort of sentiment around the building that we are proud of what we did because nobody expected us to be here. So I'm just looking for that progression to move forward for next year.
All right, Danny Dimes. Let's talk about the Danny Dimes. Let's talk about how do you see him? Obviously, there are a lot of mixed expectations and mixed feelings. Not only with you all as a fan base, the organization. It seems like there's different reports coming out of there, and all of us outside looking in. What are your specific expectations with Danny Dimes?
Daniel Jones has been a quarterback that's really haven't had any, weapons or anything around him throughout his career. The actual first time he had weapons around him was last year with Saquon Barkley and Evan Ingram and all of these guys. And then that's the game Saquon Barkley stepped on the guy's ankle and got hurt.
Yeah.
So it's been unfortunate for Daniel Jones, of course, with having 3 coordinators in 4 years, going back to you guys' history by the guy of the name Jason Campbell, who also
Mm.
experienced that, who had talent. You could see that it was there, but they could just never put it quite together. And what wound up happening with Jason Campbell, in my opinion, is that the time ran out, right? It was just
Mm-hmm.
like, we're still going to move forward. And that's what I think may happen with Daniel Jones. I would love for him to continue to be our quarterback, if not the future, just maybe a bridge quarterback until we can find our stud. I see that we're sustaining success with the limited opportunities that we're having at receiver and some of these other marquee positions. But if we can upgrade and at least give him some talent, man, the sky could be the limit.
Saquon Barkley. He started off the season hot. And obviously it was kind of reported from you all. I'm not gonna give nobody else credit. You all kind of reported to me about like his shoulder injury, even though it wasn't showing up on the injury report. And now I think it's his ankle,
He
I
has a
believe.
neck injury. He had a
Neck, not ankle, neck injury. So like we was kind of talking about before the first game, like he was on track to have 450 touches in the sense, just calculating, what the type of load he had to begin the year out. But what do you look at for Saquon? Because I still think that he's one of the best backs in the league, one of the best dual backs in the league, because that's where the it seems like the NFL is going. I just think with him, he's that him being able to line up as wide receiver can be like a complementary piece to like a number one receiver where he really can excel. But how do you all look at Saquon Barkley going forward? Because I think his tag is going to be around 9.5, and I just don't think he's going to want to play on that.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to try to come back and play for pennies. That'll be interesting to see how that's going to play out too. But Saquon Barkley, definitely, you mentioned Deuce. He's a weapon, that can be used all over the field, not just in the backfield, but in the slot or even sometimes on the outside. We've used him as well. And I think you have to, give him as many opportunities as you can. He did start off very hot, throughout the beginning of the years. You mentioned, one of the top rushers in the NFL at that point. Between the Chicago and Green Bay game is when that injury with the shoulder happened. He actually got tackled out of bounds, and you know how that goes.
Yeah,
But
man.
ever since then, he's trying to come through, just fighting, and I like his mentality. But at the same time, he's not the same player that he was, and we can see that in his running style. I don't think it has anything to do with a drop of talent. It could just be fatigue. It could
Yeah, I
just be a
agree.
mental thing too, right? So I think this game right here, he was not on the practice list today. He's a full participant. So he looked like he's chomping for the bits to get in the game. And, this is a big opportunity for him as well. And he's looking for a contract, and the other teams are watching as well. And this is Sunday night. So what better time to do it?
What about let's talk about this upcoming game Sunday night. What from the last game can you take to bring it to this game that you can be more successful with to be able to come out with the victory?
Absolutely. I think offensively, we definitely would lean on the run game a little bit more. After the second half, we only had 4 rushes for 1 yard with Saquon Barkley, and that's unacceptable. Sometimes you still have to pound the rock. Sometimes, it will open, those 2 to 3 yard carries, as the saying goes, becomes 5 to 8 and
Yeah.
8 to 12, So
Mm-hmm.
you just got to trust in the run game. We have to stay committed to what works for us, and hopefully allow you guys to make adjustments versus then just sitting in the defense that you guys game plan for us. If we can give you guys a couple of different looks using our tight ends, we like to do some naked bootleg stuff. We do like to come out in some jumbo, and then we may switch to a spread just to try to open up the defense, so we'll see we can open up some running lanes. So it's going to be interesting. And defensively, it's just about getting to you guys a quarterback, Taylor Heineke, who has been playing in some great spots this year. You guys won 6 out of 7, so it's going to be about stopping him too. Of course, we know about scary Terry McLaurin. He's always an issue and a headache to deal with. Great player, great talent. And the thing about Terry McLaurin, he's always productive no matter the quarterback. And that's a testament of the type of player that he is.
Yeah, I totally agree with the offense and I guess the offensive plays being able to stick with the run. How much do you put that on Kafka? And I want to kind of add some of the things that I've been kind of listening in the spaces and listening to you all. I kind of made a point, I think it was before the last game that we played, is that for me personally, I just don't believe that Kafka has like full reign to do whatever it is that he wants, right? He's a new coordinator, first year coordinator. He actually came from being an offensive quarterbacks coach, and Daboll is this guru that took Help me out. Well, I can't think of the
Josh
man.
Allen.
Josh Allen. Oh my gosh.
I got you.
Who
I
took
got you,
Josh
family.
Allen to a whole nother level, even though they did add Stephon. So I mean, how much like that whole dynamic, how do you think that dynamic actually works?
In my opinion, I do think Mike Kafka does have the autonomy, with the playbook and the creative calling. I do think Brian Dable having that type of offensive mind, of course, if he, may not see something that he like, of course, he will recommend it. But I think Brian Dable is trusting his coach. He's like, hey, it's the first year, hey, we're here at 7-5-1. But I think now you're starting to see he's getting at the point where he's telling him to open up the playbook more. We're starting to become predictable now. And that's crazy because we only have two
Right.
weapons, on the team and Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. So we'll start to see, how the rest of this game goes on Sunday night. It's going to be a real test. You guys stopped us and really didn't have to make too many adjustments. In my opinion, once you guys figured out what we were doing, it was a wrap from there. So with Brian Dable, I'm hoping that he allows Mike Kafka to continue Carter place.
What are some key matchups you looking at that you all can exploit for this game coming up?
Yeah, honestly, defensively, it's just going to be Dexter Lawrence. I'm not sure if you guys have a second string center out, or it might be third string if I'm not
Yeah, we
mistaken.
kind of third stringer.
But y'all using, battling depth as well. When it comes to the offensive line, Kayvon Thibodeau has been playing, pretty well as of recent, versus Charles Leno. That's going to be an interesting matchup. We do get Azeez Ojulari back again, and he's gaining some confidence. And Leonard Williams, he's actually going to play. Hopefully, he's limited for practice. But if we can get these guys on the field, I think that defensive line versus the offensive line, hopefully we can try to create some mismatch there.
What about on the other side of the ball, offensively?
Offensively, we're going to be looking to try to, use Daniel Jones' legs. We know sometimes the Commanders have had issues with the RPO, and that's something that you guys are looking from us, for to come into the game. Excuse me. So I'm hoping that could be something that we can do. We know Saquon Barkley and the attention that he brings. I'm hoping we can be successful with the running game. So when we do use those RPOs, they can be just that much more successful.
Yeah, man, looks good, man. I do want to ask about Landon, because of course he's been with us for a couple years, and I know he came up a couple times. And this next time, is it money? Is it scheme fit? Because I know the next time he come up, you gonna have to pay him for the rest of the year, I believe. So, what do you believe, or what are you hearing that it is with Landon?
Yeah, I'm thinking with Landon Collins, he is on the practice squad. I believe that it is a financial thing, maybe what it is as far as contractually, something that we might not can afford. And it also could be a roster space as well. We've been dealing with a lot of injuries on the wide receiver and the offensive line and cornerback as well. So, we know Landon Collins isn't exactly a cornerback or a safety defensive back anymore. But I think they want to keep that opening free. And, hopefully we can see him soon because, like you said, if we bring him up again, we do have to sign him. So I'm just hoping he can make an impact. He actually posted on Instagram in due time. So maybe he's feeling like he'll get his chance pretty soon.
Maybe it'll be this weekend for him to come under the lights. He was at the last few years. Is it too early to do predictions? I usually do mine on Friday, but they asked for ours early day, so I have mine. So do you? Is it too early, or are you ready to do predictions?
Yeah, we can do it. We
All
can
right,
do
yeah,
it.
go ahead. I'm going 27-17 Commanders. I think we come out better than what we did last week, and I think we were able to and I don't really think it was so much adjustments that we made for us. I think it was just reinforcing what we actually practice, and if we're able to kind of set the edge and kind of keep our lanes and keep Daniel Jones from getting out of pocket. And of course, with Saquon, I think we'll have a better success. And I got us at 27-17.
I like that. I hope you're completely wrong. But I do like that. But I do like the non-deuce. I'm going with 23-20. Once again, I'm with you with, these Commanders and Giants games, while they seem low
Yeah.
scoring, we do get in the 20s a lot for
Hmm.
some strange reason or enough. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think offensively, if we can use Daniel Jones' leg and lean on Saquon Barkley, we do, have some talent on the wide receiver position with Darius Slayton. We do know he's one of the vertical threats for us. I know you guys have St. Juice coming back, so that's going to be an interesting matchup. How that goes defensively, I think we may be able to get the ball. Taylor Heineke sometimes does have a gunslinger mentality, and he does like to gamble a bit. And we're going to be looking to try to get to the ball. So I think Graham Gano wins it for us, man, 23-20.
Sounds good to me, man. That is Mello, man. New York Giants football, man. I appreciate you for coming on, man. You catching me running this Giant Spaces every day from 1 to whenever. I heard yesterday it went to like 2:30, like a 14-hour space yesterday, but topping around 1 o'clock, they'll be in there for probably the rest of the afternoon, but it's usually from 1 to 5, I believe. But on a good day, they might be there to 2:30 in the next morning.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can find him at Wick Mello on Twitter, man. Again, appreciate you for stopping by. We know time is very valuable for you to spend some with us, man. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Deuce, man. Thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate you on the show. Shout out to everybody in the red zone and lab. Make sure you do everything you need to do to support this man. Let's get him to the top. Thanks.
Appreciate that.
Thanks, Deuce.
Appreciate that. Thank you
Peace.
all there for watching. Thank you out there for listening. This is Red Zone and Lab Podcast. I am Dion Deuce Backney. One beat, one sound, one heart, one love.